Question 1. In the context of a Citrix environment, Mr. Patel notices that after updating the master image, the new virtual desktops are not reflecting the latest application versions. He suspects the machine catalog update process was not correctly executed. What should Mr. Patel do to ensure the updated master image is applied properly across all virtual machines? A. Perform a new machine catalog creation and assign the updated master image during the process. B. Use the Update Machine Catalog feature in Citrix Studio and select the new master image for the existing catalog. C. Manually update each virtual machine individually by installing the applications again. D. Restart all delivery controllers to force the updated image to propagate. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The correct procedure is to use the Update Machine Catalog feature, which allows you to assign a new master image to an existing machine catalog. This updates all virtual machines in that catalog on the next reboot or reboot schedule. Option A is incorrect because creating a new catalog is unnecessary and inefficient. Option C is impractical and defeats the purpose of master images and machine catalogs. Option D does not update the image. Delivery controllers manage the catalog, but restarting them doesn't push image updates. Question 2. Considering the evidence from recent deployments, is new and configures session pre-launch to improve user experience for published desktops. Which of the following best describes the core benefit of session pre-launch in Citrix environments? A. It enables users to maintain disconnected sessions indefinitely to avoid login delays. B. It establishes a session and logon so users have near-instant access when launching applications. C. It preloads all applications in a delivery group automatically without user initiation. D. It caches user profiles locally to speed up login times. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Session pre-launch is designed to establish a session and launch applications in advance so users experience reduced launch time. However, strictly it pre-launches sessions but does not preload all applications automatically without user initiation. It prepares the session. Option A refers more to session linger rather than pre-launch. Option B is partially correct but focuses on session establishment, whereas pre-launch specifically optimizes application launch times by pre-initializing the session environment. Option D relates to profile management, not pre-launch. Question 3. From the perspective of securing external access, Mr. Alvarez is implementing NetScaler Gateway in his Citrix environment. Which best practice should he follow to ensure secure user authentication without degrading performance? A. Enable single-factor authentication with LDAP to simplify user access. B. Use multi-factor authentication integrated with NetScaler Gateway for stronger security. C. Allow direct access to delivery controllers to reduce gateway load. D. Disable SSL to improve connection speed. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The best practice for securing external access is to use multi-factor authentication (MFA) integrated with NetScaler Gateway to enhance security without sacrificing usability. Option B is actually the correct best practice, so the correct answer here is B. Option A is insecure because single-factor authentication increases vulnerability. Option C is incorrect because direct access to delivery controllers bypasses security layers. Option D is very insecure and never recommended as SSL ensures encryption. Question 4. Given the circumstances, ISIS Core has configured Citrix policies that conflict with Active Directory Group Policy Objects, GPOS. Which principle governs the effective policy applied to users and computers in such conflicts? A. Citrix policies always override GPOS regardless of settings. B. GPOS always overrides Citrix policies as they are applied first. C. The most restrictive setting between Citrix policies and GPOS takes precedence. D. The setting applied last in the processing order takes precedence. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Citrix policies take precedence over group policy settings when there is a conflict because Citrix policies are applied later in the processing sequence and can override GPOS specifically for Citrix-related settings. Option B is false since GPOS are applied first. Option C is a common misconception. It is not always the most restrictive that wins. Option D. Could be misleading since Citrix policies are specifically designed to override GPOS in Citrix contexts. Question 5. While examining the architecture of a XenDesktop site, Easterly notes that users experience session registration failures on the delivery controller. What is the most likely cause of this problem? A. The VDA on the target machines is not correctly registered with the delivery controller. B. The SQL database is offline, causing delivery controller failures. C. Storefront is misconfigured, causing delivery issues. D. Citrix receiver on user devices is outdated. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The most common cause of session registration failures is improper EDA registration with the delivery controller, option A. However, if Storefront is misconfigured, user sessions might not connect properly, but this usually doesn't cause registration failures. SQL database offline, option B, would affect many components but not specifically VDA registration. Outdated Citrix receiver, option D, impacts client connectivity but not EDA registration with delivery controller. So correct answer is D. Question 6. Based on the information about load balancing, Taurus is tasked with optimizing delivery controller availability. What load balancing method is most suitable to ensure sessions are distributed evenly and failover occurs seamlessly? A. DNS round robin without health checks. B. Hardware load balancer with health monitoring and session persistence. C. Manual assignment of delivery controllers to users. D. Load balancing using Storefront alone. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. The optimal load balancing for delivery controllers uses a hardware or software load balancer that supports health monitoring and session persistence to ensure even distribution and failover. DNS round robin, option A, does not check server health, risking directing users to failed controllers. Manual assignment, option C, is impractical and inflexible. Storefront, option D, assists in user access but perform load balancing at the delivery controller level. Question 7. The primary reason for implementing Citrix profile management in a XenApp environment is A. To improve application launch times by caching executables locally. B. To provide users with a consistent experience by managing user settings and profiles across sessions. C. To replace Active Directory user accounts with Citrix-specific accounts. D. To enable profile roaming exclusively on local desktops without network dependencies. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Citrix Profile Management is designed to manage user profiles by saving user settings and configurations to provide a consistent experience across sessions. Option B. Option A is incorrect because it deals with application launch optimization, not profile management. Option C is false since Citrix does not replace AV-accounts. Option D is wrong because profile management relies heavily on network shares and cannot work exclusively locally. Question 8. Taking into account the architecture of Storefront, Miller must configure it to provide a single access point for users in a multi-zone Citrix environment. What feature of Storefront allows users to access resources across zones transparently? A. Delivery groups. B. Store aggregation. C. Machine catalogs. D. Citrix receiver. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Store aggregation, option B, is the feature allowing Storefront to combine multiple stores from different zones into one unified interface for the user. Delivery groups, option A, define which users get which resources, but do not handle cross-zone access transparently. Machine catalogs, option C, are collections of machines unrelated to Storefront aggregation. Citrix receiver, option D, is the client app, not a Storefront feature. Question 9. In light of recent developments, SSHI is tasked with disaster recovery planning for the Citrix site database. What is a critical consideration to ensure minimal downtime during failover? A. Using a mirrored SQL database with synchronous replication. B. Relying on manual backup stored off-site. C. Disabling database logging to improve performance. D. Using the Lowell SQL Express database on delivery controllers. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Using mirrored SQL databases with synchronous replication ensures near real-time data synchronization and automatic failover, minimizing downtime. Manual backups option B are important but too slow for critical failover. Disabling logging option C is a bad practice, risking data integrity. SQL Express option D is not suitable for production environments or failover scenarios due to size and feature limitations. Question 10. When evaluating the merits of installing VDA on Server OS versus Desktop OS, Mr. Gomez wants to publish applications for multiple users in a shared environment. Which VDA installation choice aligns best with this requirement? A. EDA for Desktop OS to allow multiple concurrent sessions. B. VDA for Server OS designed for multi-user sessions in XenApp scenarios. C. VDA installation is irrelevant for multi-user environments. D. Installing both VDA types on the same machine for redundancy. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. The best practice is to install the VDA appropriate to the O. EDA for Server OS supports multi-user sessions typical in XenApp. E for Desktop OS is for single-user virtual desktops. Option B is correct for multi-user scenarios. Option A is incorrect because Desktop OS VDAS do not support multi-user. Option C ignores critical architectural distinctions. Option D is invalid since you cannot install both VDAS on the same machine effectively. Question 11. Under the assumption that Mr. Chen manages a Citrix site with multiple zones, he wants to optimize database traffic and site performance. Which of the following best describes how zones affect database transactions in a multi-zone architecture? A. Each zone maintains its own independent database, reducing load on the central database. B. Zones use local delivery controllers that cache database information to minimize cross-zone queries. C. All zones share a single site database, but zones help localize user and machine traffic. D. Zones replicate the site database asynchronously to improve failover capabilities. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Citrix multi-zone architecture uses a single shared SQL site database for the entire site, maintaining consistency. Zones primarily help localize traffic, sessions, and machine management to reduce WAN latency and optimize resource usage, but they do not create separate databases. Option A is wrong. Option B is misleading as delivery controllers do not cache the database but query it directly. Option D incorrectly suggests zone-based database replication, which Citrix does not support. Question 12. Considering the evidence from user complaints about slow logons, is Rivera suspect's profile-related delays? Which Citrix profile management configuration will best reduce logon times without sacrificing user settings persistence? A. Enabling profile streaming to load files on demand during session use. B. Using mandatory profiles to ensure profiles never change. C. Disabling profile caching to force fresh profiles every time. D. Storing profiles locally on the VDA machines only. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Profile streaming allows profile files to be loaded only when needed rather than at logon, significantly reducing initial logon time while maintaining user settings. Mandatory profiles option B prevents saving changes and limit user personalization. Disabling profile caching option C causes full profile reload every logon, increasing delays. Local only profiles option D reduce consistency sessions, violating best practices for roaming profiles. Question 13. From the perspective of database maintenance, Mr. Singh is planning scheduled backups for the site database. Which best practice should he follow to ensure data integrity and minimal site disruption? A. Schedule full backups during peak usage hours to capture real-time changes. B. Use SQL Server maintenance plans to automate backups during low activity periods. C. Backup only the delivery controller configuration files as the database is automatically replicated. D. Rely solely on Citrix Director for backup and recovery processes. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. SQL Server maintenance plans allow automated, scheduled backups during off-peak hours to minimize disruption and ensure data integrity. Option A is wrong as peak hours risk performance impact. Option C misunderstands the critical role of the SQL site database versus configuration files. Option D is incorrect because Citrix Director is a monitoring and troubleshooting tool, not a backup solution. Question 14. While examining the consequences of licensing issues, Isis Garcia finds users unable to launch published applications during peak hours. What is the most likely cause? A. License server is unreachable or out of licenses, causing session denials. B. Delivery controllers are overloaded and failing to process sessions. C. Citrix storefront is misconfigured and blocking license requests. D. VDAS are not installed on all machines in the delivery group. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Licensing issues typically manifest when the license server is down or licenses are exhausted. Option A. Option D is less likely to cause license denials but would prevent session registration. Option B concerns performance, not licensing. Option C does not impact licensing directly. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Question 15. In what ways can the use of session lingo improve user experience in environments with intermittent connectivity, as demonstrated by Isther Anil's deployment? A. Session lingo disconnects sessions immediately to free resources. B. Session lingo keeps disconnected sessions active for configurable time, allowing quick reconnection. C. Session lingo caches user profiles locally to avoid network dependence. D. Session lingo pre-launches applications before user logon. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Session lingo keeps disconnected user sessions active for a set period, allowing users to reconnect quickly without losing session state, improving experience in unstable networks. Option A is opposite behavior. Option C is related to profile management. Option D describes session pre-launch, not session lingo. Question 16. Given the circumstances of a high-availability Citrix site, Johnson must ensure continuous delivery controller service during failures. Which strategy offers the best resilience? A. Deploy multiple delivery controllers with a load balancer configured. B. Use a single delivery controller with a high-performance hardware upgrade. C. Disable load balancing to reduce complexity. D. Deploy redundant storefront servers but a single delivery controller. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Deploying multiple delivery controllers with load balancing ensures service continuity and failover. Option B risks a single point of failure. Option C is poor practice in production environments. Option D improves storefront availability but not delivery controller resiliency. Question 17. From a practical standpoint, Mr. Davis wants to monitor user session performance trends proactively. Which Citrix tool provides the best centralized view for historical and real-time session analytics? A. Citrix Studio. B. Citrix Director. C. Storefront Console. D. Citrix Workspace app. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Citrix Director is designed for monitoring, troubleshooting, and analyzing user sessions in real time and historically. Studio Option A manages configuration but does not provide detailed session analytics. Storefront Console Option C handles user access but not monitoring. Workspace App Option D is the client software. Question 18. As illustrated by Mr. Kim's configuration, which of the following best describes the role of delivery groups in Citrix XenApp XenDesktop? A. Delivery groups define user permissions on the SQL database. B. Delivery groups specify which machines deliver applications and desktops to which users. C. Delivery groups are collections of storefront servers providing access points. D. Delivery groups monitor licensing usage for different user sets. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Delivery groups define collections of machines and assign users access to published apps or desktops. Option B correctly defines delivery groups, so B is the correct answer. Option A is false. Options C and D incorrectly assign unrelated roles to delivery groups. Question 19. While configuring Storefront, Mrs. Evans wants to enable users to seamlessly authenticate to resources across multiple stores. Which Storefront feature supports this requirement? A. Receiver for web. B. Single sign-on SSO with store aggregation. C. Delivery group configuration. D. Machine catalog synchronization. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Store aggregation with single sign-on enables seamless access across multiple stores without multiple logins. Option B correctly mentions SSO, but store aggregation is the enabling feature, so correct answer is B. Options A, C, and D are unrelated or incorrect. Question 20. The fundamental question is, Mr. Robinson is troubleshooting failed VDA registration. Which of the following is the most effective first step to diagnose the problem? A. Check network connectivity between the VDA and delivery controller. B. Reinstall the VDA without changing any settings. C. Remove the delivery controller and recreate the site. D. Disable all Citrix policies temporarily. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. The best first step is to check network connectivity. Option A. Reinstalling or recreating sites are more drastic and time-consuming. Disabling Citrix policies. Option D may help but is secondary. Therefore, A is correct. Question 21. Considering the evidence, Carter has deployed multiple storefront servers and wants to ensure users receive a seamless experience when accessing resources. What is the primary method to achieve this? A. Configure storefront servers in a server group with load balancing and session affinity. B. Assign each user to a specific storefront server manually. C. Disable session persistence on the load balancer to maximize throughput. D. Use multiple separate stores without aggregation for better isolation. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Configuring storefront servers in a server group behind a load balancer with session affinity, sticky sessions ensures seamless user experience by directing users to the same server during a session, avoiding login disruptions. Option B is impractical and administrative overhead. Option C leads to session drops. Option D fragments resources, reducing user convenience. Question 22. From the perspective of application publishing, Mr. Young notices that some users receive different application versions despite being in the same delivery group. What is the most likely reason? A. The master image assigned to the machine catalog is inconsistent across machines. B. Citrix policies override application versions per user. C. Storefront caches old application versions independently. D. Delivery controllers load balance users to different VDAS without synchronization. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Citrix policies can override user experience settings, including app versions or access control, causing discrepancies. Option A usually results in inconsistent virtual desktops but less likely apps. Option C is false as storefront doesn't cache app binaries. Option D affects load but not application version inconsistency. Question 23. Based on the information about database management, which of the following is an essential task for maintaining site database performance? A. Periodically shrinking the database files to reclaim disk space. B. Performing regular index maintenance and statistics updates. C. Disabling transaction logging to speed up transactions. D. Allowing users direct access to the database for troubleshooting. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Regular index maintenance and updating statistics. Option B is essential to optimize query performance and database health. Shrinking files. Option A is discouraged because it causes fragmentation. Disabling transaction logging. Option C risks data integrity. Allowing direct user access. Option D compromises security. Question 24. While examining the consequences of user profile corruption, Singh wants to mitigate this issue in Citrix environments. Which method is most effective? A. Using mandatory profiles to reset the user profile at each logon. B. Enabling profile streaming to load profiles efficiently. C. Implementing profile versioning with Citrix profile management. D. Disabling roaming profiles altogether. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Implementing profile versioning. Option C helps prevent corruption by keeping versions of profiles and rolling back if needed. Mandatory profiles. Option A prevent persistence but degrade user experience. Profile streaming. Option B improves logon times but doesn't prevent corruption. Disabling roaming. Option D removes profile persistence, which defeats Citrix's purpose. Question 25. under the assumption that Mr. Lopez must troubleshoot EDA registration failures, which log file is the most valuable to examine first? A. Event viewer application logs on the delivery controller. B. Citrix broker service logs on the delivery controller. C. VDA installation logs on the virtual machine. D. Citrix directed diagnostic logs. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The event viewer on delivery controllers logs broker service activity in EDA registration events, making it the first place to check. Broker service logs, option B, are useful but less accessible. VDA installation logs, option C, are helpful only if installation is suspected. Director logs, option D, provide monitoring, not detailed registration info. Question 26. When evaluating the merits of using SQL Server for the Citrix site database, which characteristic is most critical? A. Support for always-on availability groups for high availability. B. Integration with Active Directory for authentication only. C. Ability to run on any Windows server without configuration. D. Automatic patching without administrative intervention. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. While SQL Server does support always-on, option A, for high integration with Active Directory, option B, for secure authentication and permissions is critical for security. Option C is false as SQL Server requires proper configuration. Option D is inaccurate. Patching requires admin planning. Question 27. Demonstrated by Is Wallace's deployment, which Citrix Studio feature allows administrators to control which users receive specific applications or desktops. A. Machine catalogs. B. Delivery groups. C. Storefront stores. D. Citrix policies. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Delivery groups, option B, assign users access to resources, but machine catalogs, option A, are collections of machines and do not control user assignment. Storefront stores, option C, are access points. Citrix policies, option D, control environment settings, not access rights. Question 20. From a historical standpoint, which method best ensures that updates to the master image do not disrupt user sessions? A. Updating the master image and immediately rebooting all VDAS simultaneously. B. Performing rolling updates by rebooting VDAS in small batches during maintenance windows. C. Reinstalling the delivery controller after each master image update. D. Disabling session linger to prevent session persistence. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Rolling updates, option B, minimize disruption by updating a few VDAS at a time. Immediate reboot of all VDAS, option A, disrupts users. Reinstalling delivery controller, option C, is unrelated. Disabling session linger, option D, causes sessions to disconnect quickly, worsening user experience. Question 29. While analyzing the merits of load balancing methods, Mr. Grant wants to ensure users always connect to the least loaded delivery controller. Which approach should he implement? A. DNS round robin without health monitoring. B. Hardware load balancer with health checks and weighted load distribution. C. Assign delivery controllers statically to users. D. Use storefront to direct users based on geographic location only. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Hardware or software load balancers with health checks and weighted load distribution ensure users connect to the least loaded, healthy delivery controller. DNS round robin, option A, lacks health awareness. Static assignment, option C, lacks flexibility. Storefront geographic routing, option D, is useful but not focused on load. Question 30. Given the circumstances, Mr. Ahmed wants to improve application launch times. Which Citrix policy setting most directly influences this? A. Session pre-launch configuration. B. Profile caching. C. Load balancing affinity. D. Secure ICA enforcement. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Session pre-launch, option A, reduces launch delay by pre-establishing sessions. Profile caching, option B, speeds profile loading but indirectly. Load balancing affinity, option C, ensures users reconnect to the same server, improving session persistence and performance. Secure ICA, option D, enhances security but not performance.